Hello, 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 guys. This is Antoine Carlisle, Chief Consultant of Canine Care Consultants. Yes, I'm the Chief Consultant here at CCC. It's a beautiful thing. I take great pleasure in holding that title simply because we play a great part in people's lives. That is my main goal. That has been the vision since day one, to help people and their dogs, to bridge the gap between the modern day pet owner and their pet. We're a consulting firm for new and existing pet owners, and we help not only the new, green, first-time pet owner, but also the seasoned veterans, those seasoned people that have had dogs all their life. Our goal is to be able to make their life an awesome life with their dog, a happy, healthy relationship with their animal, and that's our goal. And so when we started this series of Dog Talk, our intent was to educate people, to empower them, and to truly show them what their dog needs in order to get their needs met by their dog. But like I said, we're down to episode 10. We're so excited, guys. It's just been an awesome journey. It's been an awesome journey. So I'm here to not say goodbye, but to end this episode. And as it comes to a close, we're going to talk about something that's very important to me. You'll find that it's very important to you. And we're going to talk about faithfulness. A lot of times people have these different gripes about how their dog isn't faithful to them, or how their dog doesn't, give them the things they need in their relationship. And they express to me all of their frustrations and things like that. And the question I want to pose to you today is, how faithful are you? How faithful are you to that dog? In writing this episode, I began to think about a show I used to watch as a kid. Awesome show. It's going to show how old I am to tell you what the show is, but the show was Lassie. Lassie was a show that used to be one of my favorite shows to watch. I watched it as a kid. I was just so just astonished at the type of relationship a young guy named Timmy had with his dog Lassie. Lassie, yes, she's a fictional character, but she's a real dog. She was a collie. Lassie's real name was Pal, I believe. But this show aired, back in like the 80s or something like that. And it was just an awesome awesome show. It was about a dog that would, literally rescue her young handler just about every episode. I mean, she was the hero in the episodes, and I mean, she would save him from some of the darndest things, But the relationship they had was impeccable. I mean, it was a true example of faithfulness, faithfulness, both from the dog to the boy and the boy to the dog. And what I've grown to learn in my career is the faithfulness of your dog hinges upon the faithfulness you have towards your dog. The faithfulness your dog has towards you hinges upon the faithfulness you have towards your dog. And you'll find that in many relationships in life, that is the case. So often in relationships, we talk so much about what we're not getting from the other person and what needs they're not meeting and so forth. But how often do we ask ourselves, am I fulfilling their needs? Am I giving them what they need to fulfill my needs? You know what I mean? So it's kind of a give and take thing, and we're going to talk about that today. The relationship that was between Timmy and his dog, I mean, it was impeccable. I mean, it was the true example of real, true faithfulness. And see, although a tiny 9-year-old boy, Timmy displayed all of the characteristics of an alpha. He displayed all of the characteristics of an alpha, and his dog respected him for it. The dog respected him for that. And that's what we're going to talk about today. On my first point, it says Timmy was very attentive to his dog, and no concerns of Lassie went unnoticed. No concerns of Lassie went unnoticed. I could just think back to some of the episodes where, she would whine here and there and she'd bark, and every time, he never ignored her. He'd always say, "What is it, girl? What is it, girl?" And sure enough, she'd take him to somebody in danger, or, she'd take him to, the stove being on fire or something like that. But she was just this superhero in this show. And the thing about it is, like I said, he never ignored her. He never ignored her. Whenever she had a concern about something or a feeling about something, he checked up on her and he made sure everything was okay because he trusted her. But why did he trust her? He trusted her because she never cried wolf. Whenever she whined or barked, there was something wrong. There was definitely something wrong. And I would imagine, knowing what I know now, in the event prior to her becoming so excellent at what she does, the events where she would cry wolf, I'm positive he corrected it. Even to the real life trainer that trained that dog, I'm sure he corrected those times when she cried wolf, and that's where we got the consistency of when she did, voice her opinion or have something to bark about, you could bet that it was something going on. It was something going on. So he was very attentive to her needs and he cared about what she cared about. That was very, very important. Point number 2, the Martin family never stimulated Lassie unnecessarily. Unwarranted stimulation doesn't make for a peaceful, stress-free dog like Lassie. In this show, she didn't cause a bunch of ruckus. I mean, Lassie was just a laid-back, calm, cool, collective dog. You didn't never hear from her. She was never a problem. But when she said something, it meant something. And you could bet that there was something that needed to be tended to. There was somebody in danger. Somebody need help. It was always something. So they never stimulated the dog. I could imagine, bringing it on up until today. I couldn't imagine Timmy coming in the house and seeing Lassie in the crate and start talking to her. Oh, yeah, Lassie, Lassie, Lassie. Hey, Lassie, Lassie, Lassie. And getting her all stimulated. I couldn't imagine Timmy doing that. I couldn't imagine Timmy doing that. And a lot of times in today's, pet home, you get a lot of that. You get people doing a whole lot of stimulating, and unfortunately, a lot of times it's for the enjoyment of the owner. For some reason, people, get their rocks off by, stimulating the dog. And see, once you feel all good and you all bubbly inside, a lot of times they walk off and they leave that dog in that crate stimulated, and that causes stress. It's just a number of things. I mean, a slew of things that causes, that is unnecessary. And it does the dog no good. It only made you feel good. Because see, now that you've gotten this dog stimulated, you walk off and you go do what you were doing. We talk about dialogue through the crate. We don't encourage dialogue through the crate. And a lot of times people are talking to the dog through the crate and stimulating the dog. Well, when that dog barks and whines and barks profusely, and you want to get mad and frustrated, why is he barking? Well, you taught that dog that dialogue through the crate was okay. You started the dialogue, you know what I mean? And so now you've walked off and left him stimulated, now he's barking and you don't know why. Well, you started that conversation. The human example I give of that a lot of times is, when a husband comes home from work and his wife's in the bedroom and he comes to that door and he knocks on that door and he says, hey, honey, or says whatever he wants to say. And instead of going in the door and talking to her, he talks to her through the door. Well, she responds, he's saying, huh, she's saying, huh. Neither one of them can hear each other. And it begins to be frustrating immediately because now he's stimulated her, right? And it may have been just, and I'm guilty of it because sometimes I've, come home and I might have hollered through the door, hey, babe, I'm home because I needed to rush out to, get some dogs out to use the restroom because maybe they're waiting on me, But the truth of the matter is, and the same with a dog, in that moment, I didn't have time to have a conversation with my wife. I didn't have the time to have a long, drawn-out conversation about how her day was, how my day was. I just kind of wanted to just let her know I was home, And it's unfortunate, but it's the same way with the dog. You really don't want to talk to that dog. You really just wanted to get him stimulated for your own purpose, make you feel good, then you go on about your day. So the truth of the matter is you really didn't have time to talk to that dog. Just like in my event, I didn't really have the time at that moment to talk to my wife. Well, I should have did what I needed to do, then come talk to her and address her appropriately and come in and have a conversation. Same way with that dog. When you come home, if you know you don't have time to deal and socialize with your dog, go do what you need to do? Don't stimulate him and walk off. Go get him out, talk to him, pet him. But if you don't have time to do that, why would you start dialogue, causing frustration and stimulation, and it's just totally unnecessary. And the sad part about it is, it was for selfish reasons to make you feel good, you know. So that's just something I couldn't imagine Timmy doing. I don't see Timmy stimulating Lassie for that reason like that, you know. I just don't see it. So we don't want to do things like that. We don't want to stimulate the dog for no reason. If you want to stimulate the dog, get the dog out, go play, have a ball, whatever you want to do. But don't stimulate him and leave him in restriction. Okay? Lassie was a calm, happy, stable dog. Why do we think that is? Because her handler was calm, stable, and happy. You know, a lot of times when we be all over the place, the dog gonna be all over the place. And when we stimulate that kind of thing and when we cause that kind of behavior, we can't be upset from the fruits that are birthed from that type of behavior. The jumping, the pulling, and the craziness. Timmy was always calm. He was always, you know, laid back. And his dog reflected that. One of our nuggets says that your dog will always be a reflection of you. That dog's going to be a reflection of you. There's nothing that dog is doing that you didn't teach him to do. He's a result of you. He's a reflection of you every single time, and it never fails. Point number 3. Lassie had a job. She was a faithful guardian and protector of Timmy. And although smarter than Timmy, she understood he was alpha. Because Timmy was faithful towards her and was everything a dog needed to be an adequate handler. I think back to those episodes, and like I said, I watched, you know, quite a few of those episodes to do some research. And I don't know if you guys remember, but man, Timmy was an epic failure. I mean, it was like almost every episode, Timmy was I hate to say it, he was doing some of the dumbest things I've ever seen a little child do. The craziest things I've ever seen in my life. I remember one episode that I was watching. I think it might have been episode 168 or something like that, number 168. But his friends, he had these 2 friends that were older than him. And they could get him to do anything. I mean, they could get him to literally do anything. This particular episode, they put him on some paper wings or something and told him he was going to be a test pilot. They convinced Timmy to tie a safety rope around his waist and jump off a cliff. Literally. He literally jumped off a cliff with these paper wings on in hopes to fly. Well, safety rope came off of the rock they had it tied to, and he goes plummeting down to this river or lake or whatever. And he got hurt, and of course, old faithful Lassie comes and rescues him. Well, she comes and rescues him, and after she rescues him, she pulls him ashore. 2 friends come and gets him, and I guess they're attempting CPR or whatever. Well, anyway, Lassie takes off. Lassie goes back home to the Martin home and gets mom and dad. She always would run and bark, and they'd say, you know, what is it, Lassie? And they jump in the truck, and they drove and followed her, you know, down the dirt roads until they got to the river. And so they got out, and they, you know, they checked on him and got him well and everything, you know. But the point of it is, you know, she always had his back. She always saved him. And he was an epic failure. But nonetheless, I'm sure in her little doggy brain, she knew she was bigger than him. Remember, he was a 9.5-year-old boy. She was bigger than him. She was faster than him. And in most episodes, she was smarter than him. But nonetheless, she submitted to him as alpha. So you may say, well, why? Why? Because being an alpha has nothing to do with those things. Nothing to do with those things. What it had most to do with was Timmy's faithfulness to Lassie. Faithfulness. Timmy made sure she ate. He made sure she had everything she needed. He took her everywhere he went. I mean, everything that she could have possibly wanted from an alpha, he provided that to the best of his ability. When Timmy would go play football, you know, out in the grass field, he'd take her with him and he'd put her on the sidelines. make sure she stayed, make sure she's safe, make sure she wasn't in the sun, make sure she was, covered. He go play football. And she'd wait there peacefully and silently until he got done. But he looked out for her. He made room for his dog. He made sure she was good at all times. And so that made him submission worthy. That made him submission worthy. Not his own abilities. You got me? Not his abilities. Not what he was capable of doing in his own physical power. But his faithfulness to her. That made him submission worthy. So even when he would chastise her, she would just, kind of bow her head in submission. And she would take whatever he had to say. I remember a lot of episodes she would kind of tell on him. He'd go do little secret, missions with his little buddies, and she'd know he's gonna get hurt, and she'd go, tell his mom and dad, hey, barking, and get him to come check on him. And when she'd do that, after it was all over and he got his little spanking on national TV, he got a spanking. I remember that. But he would go in his room with her after the fact, and he would say, Lassie, this is all your fault. You told them that I was, down by the, the cave, or, whatever. And she would just, submit, not in a fearful way, not in a depressing way, but she would just submit, And I would imagine if Lassie could talk, some of these dogs, they'd say, well, look here, dummy, I saved you. As a matter of fact, I saved you every episode. You have no right to talk to me. But no, she was submissive. No back talk, none of that. Why? Because he was worthy of that. Because he was faithful to her. He made sure she had what she needed. He made sure all of her needs were attended to, and not our made up human needs, right? He found out what a dog needed. How do I know? Because I watched it. See, looking through these eyes, I didn't have these eyes when I was a little boy watching that show. But looking through the eyes I'm looking through now, I see all of the ways that he was a true alpha to Lassie. I see how he covered all of those points of what an alpha is, and then it was revealed to me all of the things that he didn't cover that I quickly found out doesn't even matter to a dog. She didn't care that he was smaller or weaker or slower or even not as smart, She saw his faithfulness. He's a little boy. It ain't a whole lot he had the ability to do as it pertains to strength, finances, or whatever. But that he could do, he was there consistently and faithfully. And it made him worthy of submission. Made him worthy of submission. So, awesome point in his faithfulness. Number 4, Timmy made room for his dog. Timmy made room for his dog. In our literature that our clients get, we have golden nuggets. The golden nuggets are kind of like 10 commandments. They're statements that back and support the theory that we teach. So it's kind of like 10 commandments, except it's like 65 of them. But number 62 says, always leave room for your dog. Always leave room for your dog. And as I reflect back on the episodes that I watched, Timmy always made room for his dog. When he went to the field to play ball, when he went to the store, wherever he went, he made room for that dog. I remember on a lot of episodes, he'd go to the schoolhouse, was what they would call it, He'd go to the schoolhouse and, he'd put her in a sit-stay, and she would literally wait outside the school throughout the whole, period, of being in school, And of course, she'd come to recess with him. Of course, we couldn't do that today, but it just was mind-blowing how she would stay in that position while he's in class. He made room for her. He took her everywhere, and he made sure that she was fully informed with clarity on what was going on, leaving no room for doubt or anxiety. Brings me to another point. We talk a lot about, separation anxiety and things like that. Well, that doesn't exist in the wild. We like to call that some human junk that we put on a dog. If it was a such thing as that in the natural state of mind of a dog, Lassie would have went crazy outside that school. I'd imagine it was 8 hours just like, it is today. But she, you could look out the window and she'd just be out there piddling around, but still in that same position she left him in. Some of the dogs of today would have flipped out. Matter of fact, they would have never even stayed in that stay position for him to make it into the school. So even to the separation anxiety, all of that comes from insecurities, instabilities caused by humans. A lot of times we as humans, we teach that dog that they cannot exist without us. And that's where separation anxiety comes from. It's a result of you teaching that dog that life cannot go on unless you're in their presence. Comes from excess attention, spoiling, all that kind of stuff. That's a whole nother can of worms. We'll get to that some other time. But, Lassie understood that when he put her in that sit-stay position or that down-stay position, that everything was going to be all right. No matter how long it took for him to come back. Why? Because he was faithful. He was faithful. And I would imagine he was consistent. School get out at the same time every day. So every day he'd come out there at lunchtime or recess time, and he'd come out at the end of the day. Left no room for confusion, fear, anxiety, or any of that stuff. No pressure, stress, none of those things. That's just another example of Timmy's faithfulness. Number 5, Timmy praised submission. Timmy praised submission. He didn't praise everything. A lot of times I find that my clients praise everything. A lot of times they're just so glad they got a dog that they constantly touching and praising and rubbing and talking and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All of the high-pitched voice constantly. Praise, 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 praise. And the problem with that is, here at Canine Care Consultants, not only do we praise and correct behaviors, we praise and correct the thought of a behavior. We teach clients how to read a dog, how to know what they're thinking. So when you're constantly praise, 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 a lot of times they find themselves praising good behaviors, good thoughts, bad thoughts. Well, it sends that dog's mind into a frenzy. Slow down on the praise. Know what you're praising. Well, I'm just petting and loving him, I'm showing him affection. I don't care what you call it. The dog receives it as praise. So whatever that dog is doing or thinking about doing, you saying go right ahead. Right? You saying like my bishop say, show you right. That's what you saying. That dog thinking about coming and bite the trainer that you brought him to see for an evaluation. And he barking and stuff, and you saying, it's okay. You saying, show you right. Show you right. You saying, good job, get it. So we have to be careful of what we praising. All of the touchy-feely. I'm not saying you can't show affection to your dog. Timmy showed affection to Lassie. But by God, every time I saw him do it out of the maybe 8 episodes I just watched, she was in a place of submission. She was in a place of calmness, peace, and serenity. Before he ever touched her, praised her, said good girl, any of that stuff. He didn't encourage bad behaviors through praise and through affection that you can't control. I tell people, you got to get over yourself if you're going to sign up with me. You're going to have to get over your affection that you just got so bottled up that you just dying to put it on somebody. You got to be in control of that. You got to be able to control that because that affects this dog's growth and his progress in training. And I tell people, you training your dog all the time, whether you know it or not. Whether you know anything about training or whether you've been to see a trainer, you always training your dog, good or bad. And unfortunately, whatever state your dog is in right now, you train him to be that way. Why? Because you're the handler. You're the boss, ain't you? So you think, you train that. All right? So, our next point. Lassie's instincts backed and supported Timmy as alpha. Because of Timmy's faithfulness, although bigger, stronger, and faster, and in some cases smarter, Lassie respected Timmy. She didn't mouth him. She didn't jump up on him. She didn't destroy his belongings. She didn't, eat up his homework, although I think he said she did that one episode and got in trouble for it. But, she didn't do any of the things that the modern day pet owner is dealing with. She saw him as alpha. And what I found, and one of my mentors once said this, if a dog sees you as alpha, he'll never bother you or nothing that belongs to you. And see, that's why I think a lot of people are lacking, And see, the thing about it is, people would think that it's all about your abilities and that you be stronger than the dog and that you be able to dominate the dog. And, and a lot of people think that I'm this tough, dictator over dogs, and it's nothing to do with that, And Timmy proves that. You know, you don't have to be stronger than your dog. You don't have to be bigger than your dog. You don't have to be faster than your dog or even smarter than your dog. You just need to know dogs. You just need to know dogs. You need to understand what they need in a relationship and be able to provide it consistently and faithfully. That's all you got to do. Number 52 nugget that we have, it actually speaks to that. It says a dog's instincts will always back and support whoever is the present alpha. A dog's instincts will always back and support whoever is the present alpha, even if that dog is his own alpha. That second clause, we're going to wait to explain that because that gets deep. But the reason why your dog's instincts don't support you is because you are not alpha. When that dog goes to do something that he shouldn't, nothing on the inside of him says, you know what, Antoine ain't gonna like that. You know what, you probably shouldn't do that. His instinct ain't gonna say a word if I'm not alpha. The instinct back and support whoever alpha is. And I guess I will explain. But if that dog does not see you as alpha, by nature, that dog understands that he needs to be his own alpha. Well, when he becomes his own alpha, his instincts only back and support him. So if he decides it's a good idea to tear up the wires in the air conditioner out there out in the yard, his instinct is not going to correct him for it because he's his own alpha. But whenever he begins to see you as alpha, the instincts are going to back and support what alpha says. So when he goes to tear up the wiring on that air conditioning unit outside, spirit man, the inside of him is going to say, no, you don't need to do that. It's going to bring conviction. It's going to bring conviction. So in the event that we train a dog here at Canine Care Consultants, we make a communication to that dog's instincts that we're alpha. First and foremost, I never need to talk to your dog. I don't ever care to address your dog when I meet your dog. And a lot of times throughout training, I don't care to address your dog. I want to address your dog's instincts. Because see, when I address your dog, I give your dog a choice. Either he want to do what I say do, or he don't want to do what I say do. Depends on how good the treat is. Depends on how many times I click that clicker. I don't train like that. I want to make a connection with that dog's instincts so that even when I'm not around, the instincts brings conviction about the behavior and he doesn't do it, whether I'm there or not. You got me? Versus a person who's not the alpha, who the instincts is not going to support, the conviction for a dog's behavior has to come from outside stimulant. In other words, you got to be standing there to get him to not tear up your stuff. Because when you're not around, right, there's nobody left to bring conviction about the behavior but his instincts. And guess what? His instincts ain't saying a mumbling word. Why? Because he is his own alpha. And his instincts is going to support him. You follow me? I hope y'all follow that. Rewind it back and play that again. You'll catch it. But a dog's instinct will always back and support whoever's the present alpha, even if the dog is his own alpha at that time. All right? Number 6, being superior to Timmy in many ways, Lassie still submitted to her little boy. I'm going to be real transparent with you guys. Okay? My wife is smarter than me in a lot of different ways. She got like 4 or 5 degrees. She's a bad girl. I love you. Love you, baby. But my faithfulness to her is what warrants me being alpha and head of this household. My faithfulness, not my brains, not my brawn, not my, none of that, none of those things. Nothing that I would do in my own power other than be faithful, other than be consistent, other than provide the things that she needs when she needs it, right? Right? And being consistent, it warrants me being able to be head over her and this household, right? And I don't mind being transparent with you guys. You guys are my family, even the strangers. I love y'all too. Hope y'all learned something from this. It doesn't matter if she make more money than me, or I make more money than her, or if I'm the 6-figure dog man, which I am, right? None of that is what warrants me being head of the household. You follow me? None of that is what warrants me being head of the household. And none of that is what would stop me from being head of the household. So yeah, None of those things hinder me from being alpha or head of a household. It's not about my abilities per se, you know. It's about my ability and willingness to be faithful to those in which they are following me. Being faithful to my lovely wife, being faithful to my lovely daughter, lovely, and my awesome son, my ability to tend to their needs, being on point with that, being on point with being concerned with what concerns them, is what makes me submission worthy. You know, being concerned with their betterment, being concerned with what's going to keep them safe, you know, rules, boundaries, you know, discipline, that kind of thing. That's what makes me worthy. That's what makes me worthy of being submission. Am I perfect in those areas? My wife will tell you absolutely not. But I understand the concept and I understand the theory and I work at it daily to perfect that thing for their sake. How many of us are working at this thing for that dog's sake? How many of us are taking notice and putting forth the proper effort to perfect being what the dog needs? How many of us are doing that? You know, it's not just about that dog making you feel good. I know a lot of us bought a dog just so we can have something to play with, like it's an accessory or something. Some of us bought them to be members of the family. But it doesn't mean that we're doing it right. Do I have all the answers? Most of them. But I'm just kidding. Do I have all the answers? Probably not. But if we can help you in any kind of way, that's what we're here for. No matter where you are in the country, no matter where you are in the world, we got clients all over the country that we help. And we'd love to help you as well. Help us help you. We take care of people who take care of their pets. And that is our goal. Our last point is, actually it's going to be a nugget. Number 41. Submission is typically readily available, but you have to give the subject something to submit to. The average dog is ready to submit. They're ready to follow. They're really ready to fall in line with a leader. But the problem typically is when you get that puppy for the first time, that first day, when that puppy begins to read you, that puppy has only one concern. Not whether you're going to spoil them, not whether you're going to buy them lots of toys and treats, not whether you're going to give them this lavish life of luxury. That dog is concerned with one thing. Are you leader worthy? Are you alpha worthy? Are you submission worthy? And he begins to read and get a feel for you the moment you pick him up. The moment you pick that dog up, he begins to read you to see if you are worthy of him submitting to you and following you. And more often than not, the average pet owner fails in that area. And so slowly but surely, that dog begins to be a problem. And it's not the puppy phase and all this other stuff, because ain't no puppy phase in the wild. That's human junk as well. You know, that dog begins to turn into something that you weren't intending on making him be. And you end up seeing a trainer, you know, to fix something that you put there. By accident, but you put it there, you know. And that dog, like I said, that dog naturally is looking for a leader. He's looking for someone he can follow, someone he can be faithful to, like Lassie was, you know. And a lot of times we fail at being that. So we find ourselves not being able to find the Lassie in our dog. Well, that's what we're here for. That's what Canine Care Consultants is here for, to make your life with your puppy a perfect one. You know, to give you guys a happy, healthy relationship, one that you can be proud of. You know, not one that's riddled with frustration and agony and in some cases pain. You know, we're here to rectify those issues or stop them before they become an issue. You guys, unfortunately, this is the last episode of Dog Talk for now. For now. I already got people in the inbox like, no, don't let that be the last one. But we got a real big project coming up, you guys. Be on the lookout. You guys will see me again. You will see me again. I love you guys. Thank you. And this was How Faithful Are You? Until next time, you guys, y'all be blessed. I thank you guys for your support again. And as always, give us a bark at 205-718-9738. Somebody gonna get some help today. Take care.